Good afternoon. Thank you very much for joining me for the next installment of our podcast, Torah Delight. This week will be on Parshas Vayeshev and also on chanukah, which will come to us in good health and gesund. I'd like to say a vort from last week's Sedra before I begin. I think it's a very interesting idea, and I think it's relevant to not only last week's Sedra, but also to for all time, and also for Chanukah. It's a vort I heard from Rabbi Shai Klein, and it's a very interesting idea. It says like this, that we know that Yaakov Avinu was punished for hiding Dinah. That was the whole mice of Shechem, because he hid Dinah from Esav. So Rashi says that, why? Because he could have mutar l'tova, he could have changed him for the good, and by hiding away, he lost Esav that opportunity. So the question is that it would seem that if any person went to a Rav and said, listen, I have a son, and should I get him engaged to my brother who's a Rosha? It seemed that the clear answer would be no, you're doing the right thing. You don't have your beautiful daughter anywhere near this Rosha. So why in this case was it Esav was a Rosha? Esav was known, a murderer. He wasn't known as a very nice person, and why would Yaakov not hide his daughter away, Dinah, from meeting? Why was he punished for it? So I think he brought down from the Medrash, from the Alta Slobodka. I think he quotes the Medrash, and he says like this. He says that yes, he was full within his rights to hide his daughter away from Esav, but what did he do? The Medrash says that he locked the box. He put her in the box and he locked it, and by locking it, Yaakov was indicating in his madrega that my brother's beyond hope. There's no hope for him. I'm giving up on him. I'm locking him away, my daughter away from him. There's no hope. And this is an important lesson. Yes, Asa was a Rosha, and yes, Dinah, maybe wasn't really fitting to marry him. But never give up hope on a person. A person has always got potential. And there's different levels. The person has to ask how much he has to intervene with the person, but a person should never give up on another person, whether it's a smile, whether it's a hello, whether it's helping them with something, a small favour or something. A person should never give up. Once a person gives up and he locks away the key and he locks it and he says this person's beyond hope, then we've got a problem. A person's got to know what level of help he can give to a person, but no person is beyond hope. Every person can do teshuvah, and no person is beyond hope. And I think this was the idea. I think it's a very nice idea, and it links in with Chanukah. Chanukah is the fight of the Chashmonaim against the Yevonim, the Yadim Biederman, the many, and the whole idea of the Chashmonaim was to give up, was to encourage the Yidden to give up believing in Hashem and believing in Yiddishkeit, and this is the lesson. We don't give up on people, we don't give up on Yiddishkeit, we don't give up on anything. So that's an idea from last week's Sedra. So as always, or not as always, but this time we are learning from parsha, which is from Sadik meilich biederman, and we'll say over a few interesting ideas. So the first idea is that that he brings down Isa b'Gemara Zman lokas ner Chanukah mishdukeh hachama. When do we light ner Chanukah? Zok the Gemara in Shabbos chafal on the base ashetichle regam and ashok, until when it's getting dark, until people are still out, and then we can fast in the mitzvah. But it's got to be when it's beginning to sunset and people are still out. It's not completely dark yet. When the sun's setting, then we say. Zok the heilige kedushas Levi's chus yogan alein. Listen to this beautiful idea. The shkis hachama moir al zman shechashkas leodom k'shavotchu misnahik imo b'minsadin. What's the idea of night? The night idea is when it's dark, and when Hashem is misnahik a person midasadin. Dark represents midasadin. Okederech shkis hachama is the setting of the sun leis erev. It brings darkness in the world, Dafka this time, when the suns are beginning to set and darkness is setting in, and it's a tough time. At this time it's hard for a person. I'm sitting now, 4:05. It's raining outside. It's only 4:05 in England, and it's I wouldn't say depressing, but it's you feel the darkness. He says, paint that this time it's hard for a person to see the hanhagas habayra, the ways of Hashem and His kindness. What should he do? So the B'ditshava Yadlik Neir is chanukah. Then Dafka, when it's a hard time, when it's about to get dark, and it's Yadlik Neir chanukah, he lights Neir chanukah. V'alid zeh torah b'kibah emunah shlema. Then he lights up the emunah shlema, the faith hashkachas habayra in Hashem. Dafka, then that lights a little dark room. You have a little light, lights up the whole room. Dafka then, when it's in that idea of chanukah, to light up a munah b'tochen, dafka when it seems hard, when the golus seems hard, when it seems hard, then that's Maramas on that idea of when we light, dafka when the sun's beginning to set. I want to say over another idea, got to find it. So this is jumping back to the Sedra. We're going to jump a bit from the Sedra and a bit on Chanukah, so it's all over the place. But all good stuff. So he says, "Vayonas v'yotza chutza." We're talking about Yosef Tzaddik. He's been entrapped by Potiphar, and what he realizes, he sees the form of his father, and he realizes, I can't go through this. I can't do this avera with Potiphar. And what does he do? He runs out and he leaves his cloak there. He leaves part of his garments there. He writes in Perek Lametes Yud Beis, "V'yazo bigdoi biyodo, v'yonas v'yotza chutza." That he left his clothes in his hand, and he left his clothes in biyoda in her hand, and he went outside. Bavada says stop there. Yosef knew that he could have gone back, he could have taken the garment, and there wouldn't have been any. It would have been his word against Potiphar's, and there wouldn't have been any sign that he's been there. And he would have saved himself a lot of headache and a lot of problems. And Yud Beishana, he was 12 years in prison. But he knew that he knew the ramifications. He could have got out. He could have saved himself all this. The Chaim Shmuel Levitz, the Heilige Mirror. Chaim Shmuel Levitz. At this time, when he could have saved his skin, and there was this great Nisayan, he stood at a great Nisayan. The Yetzirah said, "You stay a little bit longer, go back in, get the evidence, and you'll be out, and you'll save yourself." Yosef Tzaddik knew that this was a moment. He writes, Gehenna was the fires of Gehenna were burning underneath his feet. And every extra second he would have stayed there, would have been an extra Nisayan. And he could have fallen even further. Therefore, he didn't give it any consideration. Ella Takev, he knew the danger was in, even though he knew by staying there he could have saved himself. Ella Takev, Hisha Big the Eitzla, he left his garment by her, even though he knew the ramifications of it. The Yonas v'yotza chutz, and he ran outside. El michutz legavulas haguf nefesh. Bekech kodel v'amis baruch mishal ka'od nafshi boy. He didn't consider his own. He was facing in a certain. How do you face it? You run away from it as fast as you can, and that, even though there might be other ramifications results of it. This shows how much a person needs to run away from an aveira. He could have saved himself. But he didn't. The fear of the aveira was the overriding concern, and he ran as fast as he could. And that's a beautiful idea from Chaim. Sorry, just want to say. Another idea. Sorry, just to make sure I missed out anything. Sorry, thank you for bearing with me. I don't want to leave the gold behind. So let's make sure. Right. Okay, so this is the last idea of it. We know famous the chivuv or persemis. Omar Chazal, the famous Gemara in Shabbos Chaf Gemara base. Harogil b'nei havon le bonim tamid chachomim. Or Perish Rashi the koya al neirish Shabbos chanukah. Someone who is careful to light candles will become. It's a scholar to have bonim tamid chachomim. Rashi says that goes in there Shabbos chanukah. V'kavat Talma Rabbeinu Yitzchok ben Arayvid the Chazinon sheruba da'alma b'din neiris chanukah midei shana b'shana. We know that most Heilige Yidden are rogel to light Chanukah candles every year. They don't all have sons with Talmid Chachomim. So what's with the Ma'amei Chazal? Chazal say a rogel b'nei Chanukah. I've only to Talmid Chachomim. So why don't we see this? Why don't we see this? Because lefi shadakoi. So he says that it could be that it's only a rabbim small amount who do it in all the protim that to be zeicha to this. The Meiri brings down chazina the kasha me'kara lesse. He said the kasha doesn't start at all. Shekosov harogel b'ner. What does it mean harogel b'ner? One is rogel, used to lighting candles. Der chivuv hamitzvus v'ha'ara. Loshen hisoiris. Harogel b'ner is a loshen of someone who puts his whole entire being into his chivuv mitzvah. Not someone who lights it because he's the mitzvah he's got to do it. Oh, light it, half an hour, I'm out of here. Harogel b'ner, someone who puts his whole being in chivuv a mitzvah. Then such a person havelei bonim tamid chachomim. Behind the b'chtei l'schus the bonim tamid chachomim, he says in order to be zoicha to bonim tamid chachomim, lo yisagi b'masha madlik ner chanukah kemitzvahs anoshim milamoda. It's not enough to light ner chanukah like someone who just does it is a robot, does it because that's what he's told to do. He's got to light a chivuv mitzvah, his love of the mitzvah. Besimcha v'nachas, menem the kinder, mit pants with the kinder, we took stories with the children. Then we have the dreidel, it's experiences of chavivus of the mitzvah. Os muftach lo sheyizke lebon tamid chacham sadikim. Yizreicha, that's such a person. Yizreicha lebon tamid chacham sadikim. I remember when I had the zchus to be in Mir many years ago, at least 25 years ago, I had the zchus to see the Tzaddik Moshe Ira Freund, who was the Gaivet of Yerushalayim, who was the head of Yerushalayim, head of Eidach Haredis, and he lit Chanukah candles. At the time, he was in his 90s, 90, 91, something like that, and he lit after Shkia. It was quite late, and I stayed to see him light. And the amount of enthusiasm and the amount of hisoirus that he put in to lighting these Chanukah candles will put to shame a much younger person. And that's a person who appreciated what it meant, Rogel b'nei Chanukah, the mitzvah, the heilige mitzvah, all the schusim that come from lighting, the lechtigkeit that comes from lighting, the hashpaz tovus that come from being a fast in the nace of Chanukah. I wish you all a wonderful Shabbos and a wonderful Chanukah, and we should all use this meilich yontiv, this mini yontiv we call it. It's not the same as a regular yontiv, but it still has some dinim of a yontiv. And we should use the zchus of Chanukah to bring a light to the world and bring zchusim for us and for our families. I wish you a wonderful Shabbos. As always, if you're interested, please pass on. It's always nice to hear new people listening from many parts of the world. It's appreciated. Have a good Shabbos, have a good Chanukah, take care.